You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network. Hi everybody, this is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. Here we have again my special guest and my friend Ronald O'Donnel from California. I like very much to have Mr. O'Donnell because first of all I think he's a character of a man. I mean, this guy is what for me represents the America that I always idealized when I was in Italy. Hard work in America. America is for the people, and even of course, it's I don't believe in party. As I said, I believe in ideals. We may have sometimes little bit of differences on some socioeconomic. I think really that we have much more things in common than we disagree. So today I have here very important news to share with Mr. O'Donnell from California. Ronald, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you about the book. I think you got an incredible hard work of information that you put together in this book that I would like you can pretty much share with us a little bit. But also I would like to start with a breaking news about what did you see with your own eyes exactly at the Central Committee meeting with the Democratic Party. Please tell us a little bit what's going on there in California right now.
Well, Monday we had our Riverside County Central Committee meeting, of which I am a voting member, and I'm also a voting member of the San Bernardino County Central Committee, but I am only going to speak right now as to the meeting on Monday in Riverside. Mm-hmm. And I went down there, and, there's 100 people that were there in attendance, and I found it appalling that the focus of the meeting were strangers that are not even members of the Central Committee that had the floor. And they stood up and they were asking the people in the Central Committee members to please donate money or clothing, and they gave us the drop-off points, which, by the way, were 3 drop-off points, all in Catholic church locations, and I'm a former Catholic, so I got my attention. Mm-hmm. And they're asking us for money and for food and clothing to help the children. They call them the children, the oppressed children that are here by the numbers that now exceed 30,000.
Wow.
And I'm going, well, wait a minute. I just have first of all, I had a question. As a voting member, I said, well, you weren't on the agenda today.
Yeah.
We have regularly scheduled agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? And I got, because I'm not compassionate and I'm not,
Now, if you don't agree with them, you're gonna be called a racist. Period. Simple as that.
Oh no, they didn't say that, but the looks on their face.
Yes.
But I just was kind of curious that they weren't on the agenda,
mm-hmm.
and they're asking me for money, and they're asking the Central Committee for money, and they're asking us to go ahead and promote them, and I don't even know who they are. They didn't announce themselves, but they were brought by this guy by the name of Baca, B-A-C-A.
Mm-hmm.
He's about a 350-pound guy, I won't go any further on that. But appealing to our senses, of morality and righteousness in treating, people that are, I guess, the underdog, I asked one question. I said, well, who here, I've been pleading for help for homeless and disabled American veterans who have lost a leg or an arm and are sleeping on the streets. Who, in 25 years, has ever taken up that cause? I get nothing but silence when I ask, well, what about these, Vietnam vets? Because I'm from the Vietnam era. I'm 64.
Yes.
For the listening audience, and
yes,
I have I'm a member of the American Legion, and I have a lot of friends that still wonder why they can't get a VA attention at the Veterans Administration medical facilities.
Yes,
they're on a waiting list for 5 years.
And so nobody answered to you. Nobody said anything.
Oh, no. They said I was a racist. I'm not. They didn't use that word, but I was not compassionate.
Wow.
That was what I was told. I had someone come up to me and say, "You're not compassionate."
Wow.
Look at the poor children. And I'm going, wait a minute. What about those poor Vietnam veterans? If we're going to spend money, I think we need to go ahead and spend it on our American citizens first.
Yes.
Oh, and then they're saying there's 100,000 more in the waiting list.
Yes.
That are already left Honduras and Ecuador in the middle of America, and they're on the waiting list. In other words, there is a train coming, which is endless.
Right.
They're just dropping them off. Dropping them off. There's 100,000 on the waiting list.
Ronald, please.
Already left their Central America.
Yes, and I have a question for them. I wish I was there, and I have a simple question. This is coming from a former immigrant, okay? I'm not a nativist. Okay. I'm a regular guy who believes in America, who believes in the rule of law, who believes that coming to America, it is not a right. It is a privilege because I wasn't born here, but I respect the rules of this immigration that I had to go through. Now, my question for these advocates of compassionate people that they think they are, we have about probably 3 billion children from around the world, at least, that they would love to come to America. I would like to ask to these people who decided when enough is enough. Who decided that everybody can come? I mean, first of all, this is a complete suicide, completely killing ourselves, because it's not possible that no country, not even America, first of all, is disrespectful for all the former immigrants who came here following a process and the different laws that we had to go through. And that's right there, I think, is very discriminatory towards us, people like me, millions of us. But more important now, from an economic point of view, you're making a very valid point. This is no responsibility of the American people, of the American government. The American government duty is to take care of the American people. Why?
That was my point.
Exactly. So now from that, tell us that we are not compassionate. This is the biggest, the biggest lie. Unfortunately, they tried to play this game with us. But my point is, tell me more, please. Tell us more about this funding that really was disturbing when you told me this information. How much for each child and from where this money?
Okay. Well, I agree with you, Luca, on what you're saying. But it's deeper and wider than what we're talking about. We're just scratching the surface here.
Yes, you're right.
I spent 5 years writing the book that I sent to you. And the name of the book, folks, if you're out there, look up foreclosureammunition.com. 5 years in the making. And it describes 6 million Americans, families, who have been foreclosed on illegally, who have been thrown out in the street and the sidewalk. 6 million. And in the pipeline, there are 6 million more coming.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, so that's 12 million homes, and each home, let's say, has 2 people in it. So we're talking 24 million. If there's 3 people, it'll be 36 million homeless Americans in the last 5 years since the financial crisis. Now we're bringing in someone that is going to go ahead and move into the home that you lost, and the government's going to pay for it. But it won't be an American citizen. It'll be, someone from Honduras or Guatemala or a gang member from perhaps anywhere who God only knows, through all the drug cartels, how these kids are getting here. Oh, by the way, you are in the definition of a child up to the age of 31. I don't know if you know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you're under 31, you're considered a child according to the government's border definition of these children coming across.
Wow.
Hey, I had my first job when I was 13, so I guess I was a children, you know.
Yeah.
At 31, I certainly am not a children.
No, you can go to...
But that's the definition. That's disgusting. But here's another thing that bothers me. Once they get here, they do not have to put any money down. They have a government program that they can buy a house with nothing down it 0 to 2% interest.
Wow.
They get that because they are a refugee status, and they did it for Vietnamese in the late 70s.
Oh, my gosh.
50,000, that's what built Westminster, California. I happen to know this firsthand.
Mm.
They all got their homes for nothing. And they got no interest in it. You know, they could live in a house for $500 a month that I'd have to pay back then $1,500 a month. But that's what's happening here, folks. And wake the hell up. For 6 million more of you guys are getting ready to get thrown out. Here they come. They get a free government loan, and they're going to move in.
Ronald, I have a question for you. What do you think why the government or whoever's behind the government, what is their end game? Why they're doing this to the American people, in your opinion?
I don't think that the American people run our government any longer.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think is behind?
Wow. That's a good question. We owe all the money to China and Saudi Arabia. We owe $17 trillion to those two governments. And one is a communist government, China, and the other is a Muslim country, Saudi Arabia. And they're competing with each other over who's going to get what first.
Mm.
We're just here, like little guys, stuck in the bottom, and we're just the effect. We're not the cause any longer. We're just nobody. We're nothing. We are the pawns in the big chess game.
So pretty much, I believe, in my opinion, my analysis, they pretty much they need to finalize the destruction of our middle class and our pretty much economy.
With the middle class, they're destructing from the middle class to the upper middle class,
mm-hmm.
all the way, all of us.
Yes.
I don't think they really are concerned about what class you are. I know I have personal friends that are losing $2 million homes.
Wow.
Is that middle class?
No, that is not middle class. You're right. They want us, I really believe, in my opinion, what they're trying to do here is pretty much to level us all down. That's why they need this big influx of poor, desperate people from third world countries that at that point, they're going to blend with us. First of all, unfortunately, many of these people, they are not understanding the principle of our republic, of our constitution. They come from dictatorial countries or Marxist countries, and they will be used as pawns at the polls, in my opinion. And more important,
they're pawns too. They have no clue.
Exactly, but they will use us pretty much also to destroy us economically, because how can you compete if you're a worker, you know, if you're a blue-collar worker? I mean, I don't understand sometimes how even unions, they are pandering to this, some unions, maybe not every, but they don't understand that this is going to be a disaster for their wages, because when you already have an economy.
They do understand. No.
They do?
I was endorsed by the AFL-CIO because I was for increasing American workers' wages. I wanted $15 an hour. They settled on $10 an hour.
Okay.
That's the law here in California now. They're getting $10 and some odd cents an hour, which is barely enough. Not even enough. It's an insult. It's a joke. Well, now guess what? You watch. The people that are coming here, they'll be willing to work for an entire day for $5 a day.
You're right. And
they won't have to, because our government is going to give them a free house,
mm-hmm.
food stamps, a free education. Hell, if I were younger, I'm 64 now, I would jump on a train.
Wow.
I had to work all my life.
Did you see
but
that?
If I could just jump on the back of a train and come on over and go through the process, why the hell wouldn't I? I just told them I wasn't an American. I'm from Guatemala. I don't need ID. No.
You're right.
The only problem is I'm white, and that wouldn't look good, you know. So I'd have to go ahead and
get some something
up a little bit.
Yes. Did you see the latest news? I thought it was a joke, but I found it on mainstream news. There is now an opening to different multi-million dollars resorts paid by the government, okay, where they are renting these rooms for free. I mean, the government is renting them, but they're giving it for free. Yes, exactly. That's the point. We are paying for it.
The government doesn't have any money. What they do is they charge the taxpayers.
Exactly. See, this is insane. I believe this is a planned form of complete disaster. It is not by accident. They're doing intentionally to completely killing us. And
there's 100,000 waiting to get on a train that already left their country. They're sitting there with bags. They even have little rest areas for them where they are feeding them on the interim and putting them on the next train. You can only get so many trains in here, fella.
Yes, yes. And
A day, you know.
I know. And I just found a document, by the way, it's an advertisement of a California newspaper where it pretty much confirms what you were saying, that now the government is paying like a fee for each minor that foster family will adopt, okay? And we're talking about...
No, you don't adopt them. No, you don't have to adopt them.
Yes.
All you have to do is take them in.
Take them in. You're right. It's no adoption.
Sign a contract. No adoption.
No adoption. It's just taking care of them. We're talking about a maximum of $6,000 a month.
That's for 4 children.
For 4 children.
$1,500 each.
Exactly. I mean, that's like a business. I'm sure there are many people that would jump on this right now and they will completely squeeze it because this is insane. We are paying for this money. I mean, this is insane. Seriously, I think it's out of control. I have
$1,500 a month. I know people that are American citizens that have jobs that they barely make $1,500 a month.
Exactly. I mean, this is such an insult to everybody. And I have now a question. We need to find some solution here because, you know, first of all, of course, we must admit that there is a problem. And I'm glad.
John McCain said, they get here, we get started what we should call it the United States Airlines. And our military just puts them on. We're already paying for the military. Put them on, send them back to their country of origin.
Who said that?
But that's not compassionate, so I don't know if that's John McCain.
McCain, anyway, my opinion, McCain is the biggest fraud, whatever he says.
Yeah, he is. That's the first thing he ever said right, though.
Yeah, you never know, because may have some other, you know, once in a while, I'm sure everybody gets it right. Don't get me wrong.
He owns the airline.
Maybe once in a while he gets it right too. But let's not forget, he's also an hypocrite because he's the first one that pretty much has been pushing the last few years with Obama, this DREAM Act. The fact that this DREAM Act that was even passed by Congress, but was pretty much just by executive order pushed by the administration, McCain was behind. So now it's kind of the last minute, little too late, little too little. The guy is an hypocrite, in my opinion, because his goal is a globalist, is a member of the CFR, and he's always been an advocate of open borders. Now, I'm sure because of the pressure of the people of Arizona that we are kind of fed up. Now, I have a question for you. How can we stop this? Some solutions in your mind. What can we do as American people here, sitting down, listening to this show? What could we do?
Lock and load. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Wow.
But you better protect your house. You better lock the door and load your weapon.
Wow.
You're already past being able to legislate. Legislation takes a year, 2 years. It's way out there.
Wow.
There's no time. We're done here.
You're right. I think
lock and load.
Unfortunately,
is what I suggest. And I'm a Democrat that's against guns, right?
No, you're not against guns.
Well, you know what? I am against weapons. But you know what? In my home,
yes,
and my family, and my children, and my grandchildren, they're all going to school to learn how to use a weapon.
Very good.
To treat it respectfully and to be licensed. I'm telling every American listening, go get training. Be certified. Don't shoot yourself in the ass because you know what you're doing, and don't be a goofball and just get out there and get a gun.
You're right.
You get training, go to school, get licensed, register wherever you have to register. Each state is different, and do it now.
Yes, I agree with you.
Be prepared, because when they bang on your door, you're going to have an answer.
You're right. You're right. Unfortunately, you're right. I wish you were wrong.
I don't like saying that. You would never hear me say that. I'm 64. I've never said that in my life.
You're right. It's true because...
What do you think's coming behind these...
this is already too late.
Trains?
You're right. We're already here. We're at this point. The borders now, they are in our cities, in our towns. I mean, they're dumping them everywhere. This is not just now on the states, like the border states. This is happening now in Colorado. I mean, and let's not forget also the potential health crisis that we're having. We're having now cases of plagues, of different type of skin diseases. I mean, think about some of these children, they don't even have any type of children. I say they're more than children, as you said. They're people that are over 30. They're going to
school. That's what they want us to believe. It's just women and children.
You're right. You're right.
That's the front story. Because guess who's missing?
Who is missing?
The drug cartel that sent them.
You're right.
That's not in the news.
You're right. It's very true.
Now, I wonder, the women and the children and the compassion that we all should feel. Where are their husbands and their boyfriends and the fathers?
You're right.
They're on their way behind the women and children once they get the welfare benefits.
You're right. As you get in, you got the status of refugee. You can have a special visas to reunite with your family. Okay.
Well, they don't need a visa.
Exactly.
That'll all be done by the wife and the children.
You're right.
This is a 31-year-old child.
Yes. Wow. Listen, I have.
They'll do the paperwork, and all they have to do is go down to the Catholic Church drop-off point. And I know that's a touchy subject.
Yes.
I'm saying it because that's what they said at the meeting on Monday.
Unfortunately, the Catholic Church is an instrument of this invasion, and they're using churches as political tools to create this global government.
I'm not Catholic, and I'm not against the Catholic. Most of my family are Catholic.
I was born in Rome.
South America, apparently this is, it looks to me, unfortunately, that it's being controlled by the Catholic Church.
Yes, it is. And I tell you, this is coming from a person who was born in Rome. I was born and raised Catholic. I tell you right now, I would never bow down to a man. I would never bow down to a man, Pope included. And unfortunately, history proves that the popes and the Catholic Church has always been an instrument for political power. And I believe in Christ. I don't believe in any church. That's my position. So I believe, unfortunately, the Catholic Church now is being used to create this global government. And
unfortunately, I hate to say that on this radio show, but I am in agreement with you 100%.
Truth is truth. We can't sometimes, feel sorry about it, but I'd rather to be sorry and say the truth than just deny it. Listen, I want to thank you again. Please say again the name of your book and how people can buy it.
Well, my book, if you can afford it, the name of the book is foreclosureammunition.com. You hit it. And if you can't afford it, just send me an email, and I'll go ahead and work something out with you. But I want you to read the first 2 pages in the book, and it's called Treason. And then we get on to the illegal foreclosures in America on American homeowners and how that all started and where we are today. And none of it is my opinion. It is all backed up by Supreme Court decisions across this entire land, and it's backed up by facts.
Perfect.
No opinion. My opinion doesn't count. I know it doesn't mean a thing. It's about 450 pages of court cases that have taken place in judicial and non-judicial states across America over the course of the last 5 years.
Ronald, I want to thank you, and I will read the book, and I will get you again on the show, and we will talk just about 1 hour, just about your book. Especially, I want to share with you, and I have questions for you, because I'm sure reading the book, I will have some questions that you can explain. Thank you very much.
I'd like you to read the first 2 pages.
Yeah, I will read the whole book. That's my idea, and then we can talk together.
If you get through the first 2 pages, you'll go, wow.
Thank you. I'll do that. Thank you, Ronald. Talk to you later. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network.